Hello, welcome pen friends. I've got a little review for you today on a Leuchtturm 1917 Weekly Planner and Notebook. This is for 2026, and when I saw it, I wasn't aware they were making them. It seems to be something a little bit new for them, and I was real excited about it, so I ordered one. I thought that at the very least I could look into it and then see whether I liked it and review it for you on the channel. So that's what we're doing. I've already opened it. It was in a little cellophane wrapper, which is long gone now. I wasn't really thinking. And I've even put in a sticker, I'll show you in a little bit, to personalize it for myself. But this is their 80 GSM paper. So it's going to be in like their original Leuchtturm A5s, that kind of paper. This is an old bullet journal of mine. My first bullet journal that I ever had that was from Leuchtturm is that yellow one. So I was already familiar with the paper. I knew that it would be fountain pen friendly to some degree, varying quite a bit because now I'm into broad nibs. But for a weekly planner, I've been using the Hobonichi, the Japanese ones. Let's see, let me grab one of the most recent ones that I used. Was this one. This is a 2023. And so my first question as I was measuring and this one and looking online to see, it looked like maybe it would fit into one of my preferred planner, and it does. And so, but I didn't know that when I ordered it. I was just really crossing my fingers that it would. So if you know about Hobonichi, and just about everybody does, this is the wonderful Tomoe River paper, which is very fountain pen friendly, but it's very thin. I don't really prefer it for planning. I like how it results in, starting out with a nice thin planner. I don't tend to stick a whole lot of stuff in mine, so they don't fluff up. They don't balloon up real far. Even this one, which was a regular one. But anyway, I really wanted something in this pocket size, and I've tried out several different things, which we'll look at in a minute, but I never really settled on anything because the other alternatives I was finding didn't have the printed dates. It wasn't all set up like a calendar for you. And generally speaking, I mean, I'm a bullet journalist and I like to set it up myself, but not for a weekly planner, not for a calendar weekly planner. I do a monthly spread, and everything else in my bullet journal is either to-do listings, daily, I don't know what they call it, but anyway, rapid logging, I guess, is the technical term from the creator of the bullet journal, Ryder Carroll. But I do listings, and then I do collections. So if I'm working on a project, I have set aside, I get in there and start some pages for it, and I go ahead and I log it into my index so that I can find what I'm working on, like something that's going to last me a while, that I'm really working on, typically for my mom, or even for us if we're like looking into roofing or some project for the house. So I do like a blank notebook normally, but this is a planner, and I have tried and tried and tried. In fact, I've got I've got 3 or 4 of these, 3 I guess, Hobonichis. Someone sent me this one, so I got a chance to try it. And ended up, I think in this one, I mostly used it for color, it is so beautiful for swatching your inks. So it's not like these are going to go ever completely to waste with me. Whatever pages are left in these Hobonichis, I'll use them for swatching inks and comparing colors and everything. But I think, I'm not going to show you inside them. It's depressing to me that I never really took to it enough to finish. I guess I did the best in 2023. I tried pretty hard. We'll do a quick flip. I mean, I worked with it, but I just didn't bond with it. I didn't bond with it as much even as I did with a plain old one from Amazon that I got for $10 that didn't have, it starts out like this and it ends up whatever I decorate it. But these, they just didn't have, you had to go ahead and do all your own dating, and I had to do it ahead or I would never keep up with it and that kind of thing. So, but I did actually, this was 2022. 2022 was a good year. So I really used this. I did. I used it more than I usually do. Hopefully there's no addresses or anything in there. I don't think so. I think I'd already gone through and tagged. I've been in that one before. But let's look at this one because this is the one I want you to see in case you don't know whether to get one. So right off the bat, this is called Dusty Rose, I think. Yeah, Dusty Rose. And they had some other colors. They had black. They had a dark blue, I think, or green. There was at least 3 colors, and I think there might have been 5 colors. Yeah, there was even yellow, I think. But this one appealed to me. I haven't had anything in this color for a while. So anyway, let me take this off because I've already put a kitty on mine so I can kind of make it my own. And I do like keeping these, especially if I'm going to review something. So it says Weekly Planner and Notebook 2026, calendar on the left, notebook page on the right. Okay, so right off the bat, I knew when I got it that it didn't have, so it's got calendars in the front, but it doesn't have monthly spreads, and that was disappointing to me, but I still wanted to try it. So we've got the remainder of 2025 here. I don't even know if you can see that, because they did really good with making the lettering not too obnoxious. And then 2026, 2027. And then some, I don't know. I don't tend to use this stuff, so maybe I'll have to think about it and really see whether I could think of something to log in these monthly vertical. I don't know what I'd do with that. I really don't know. So if this is all, it feels like it's wasted to me. I suppose the 2027 to log in something you already know about, but that's not really the way my life runs, except for reports that I have to write. International holidays, it's got, so in the Hobonichi they have the, let me see if I can find one that's not like loaded with personal stuff. I mean, I don't care if it's just, you know, nothing much, but let's see. That had something sad that a friend might actually watch. Okay, here's one. So in the Hobonichi, they do this in the front of the book. They give you 12, you know, one for each month, so that you can have the view of the monthly. And I do like this. So it is a little bit, it'll come up again in the review that that was a little disappointing. If I was in the inn with Leuchtturm, I'd say, please just put monthlies in the front, and I'd be super, super happy with that. It's got all this project plan stuff, which I'll never use. International holidays, project plan. I'm not sure how on earth something that tiny could ever be used. But anyway, that's okay. That's a good place to tape in some fun stuff. Maybe even some of my washies or, you know, something fun. And then we start with the weekly plans. Gosh, I'm not even sure if my lighting is good enough to show this. It generally would be, but so it's very light. It's dot grid over here, if you can't see it. You might not be able to. And then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then you only get the half sections for Saturday and Sunday. Oh dear, it's driving me nuts that I can't really see it very well. Huh. I got some glare maybe. But anyway, so then we go through the whole year like that. You know, it's got a weekly spread for each week. And then there isn't a whole lot of paper. Let's go and see how much there is. Coco, be good. Toby, be good. Oh dear. Okay, so this is the last spread of the year where it goes into the first. The first is here on Friday. And so let's count how many free pages. So our spreads. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5, and then I've used the final one for pen testing. And these are perforated in the back. So I guess so you could make notes and rip it out. But that's not very many extra pages. So that's something to keep in mind. But if they had put very many more, it might have been too fat to fit in my planner, which I'll show you in a minute. But this turned out to be very typical of what I would expect. Yamabudo in a kind of juicy gold medium nib tried to seep through. There was some ghosting and not very much seepage though. I think you could get away with it. But the TWSBI Eco in a medium nib with my stone gray, Graf von Faber-Castell stone gray was fine, and I was thrilled to see that because that is my basic go-to ink for most of my bullet journaling and just jotting, unless I want to put it in red so I can see it. And so I went down through and I tried out. I was pleased with the TWSBI Eco with a medium nib, pleased with the Platinum Preppy, no problem with that, no bleed through, well, there's some ghosting. There's always ghosting, but bleed through is what bothers me. I just don't like that at all. I'm very low tolerance for that. And then the Pelicano with the little A nib, which is more or less medium, with a nice little cartridge, that was fine. The Pilot Doctor grip, that is kicking around here somewhere, is my favorite ballpoint pen for addressing envelopes, etc. And I can use it with my right hand, but right now I'm still healing with my trigger finger issue, which is a tendon issue. It has nothing to do with shooting, by the way. I horrified someone earlier last week when I started talking about it, and they thought, wait, what? You know, what are you doing? Anyway, it has nothing to do with what it sounds like it has to do with. I'll be able to use my ballpoint again when I can put more pressure, if need be. Maybe I'll have found other things by then. Another Pelican Kids pen worked great. The Pilot Friction, I just didn't have enough pressure with the Pilot Friction unless I used my right hand. The Uniball Vision Elite was very disappointing because it did bleed through. It's right here, and it did bleed through. So all I really should say about this is go to your last page and do a sample, unless you already know. If you're using regular Leuchtturm notebooks that don't have the 120 GSM, you're going to pretty well know that you'll have to kind of check your fountain pens, and you'll have to check some of your juicier, I just saw one laying around that I haven't tried yet, the little Sharpie. Let's try that. I'm kind of switching back and forth. I'm able to write just a little bit with my right hand, but I'm really trying to give this finger a chance to heal. So let's see, this is Sharpie S Gel. Let's see. It's messy with my left hand, but Sharpie S Gel. I did want to see how that wrote. Maybe that's why it was piled over here. And I don't know if, yeah, 07. Okay. Okay, so that's going to take a bit to, maybe to dry. Let's blot it just so we don't make a mess. Generally, the pens do dry a lot faster on this. And of course, sometimes a few minutes after you write something, it can begin to seep through, but it looks like that'll be fine. And that's my experience with these. The Sharpie S-Gels are pretty good pens. They really are. They don't do a lot of misbehavior as far as bleeding through. So I was pleased, you know I can still use Tombows. I have very few left that aren't dried out. My gel glitter pens if I wanted to. But really what it comes down to for me, I end up with a couple. I really want to work fast when I'm doing planning, like writing in appointments and things like that. So it comes down to me for an Energel. This is a Pentel Energel liquid ink with purple. And this is also one of their cartridges, but it's stuck in a Pilot bottle to pen. I put the cartridge from one of these that's red. I really like a good red pen. There's that one. And neither one of these bled through. So I was pretty happy. It's got the pocket in the back. Nice pocket. I don't know. It's got the, I don't care about these. I just about want to cut out these ribbons, but I never do really, because every once in a while a ribbon does come in handy, but most of the time I like to just do this. Tuck it back in the pocket where it doesn't bother me constantly. I do love these because I don't always carry it in the cover. And so it's nice if there's anything that might be loose or whatever, I can band it together. So I do like the elastic. Let's see. I feel like I'm in the ditch, off the road, completely away from what I prepared. I did some typing so that I could remember. It's easier for me to type right now. It did cost almost $25. It is the 80 GSM paper. It has the dot grid on one side. It has the pre-printed planner, like I showed you, only it's hard to see. It has the nice hardcover, the really nice hardcover, just like their regular original, I call them original 1917 journals. So it's very, very similar to that, except that it's just a little shorter. And, you know, it's much more, it's so close to the size of the Hobonichi. It's just a tad taller and just a little bit fatter, not hardly any. And the width is so close. Let's see. How do I show that? Really can't, but well, yeah, you can from up here, I guess. Just that the width is very, very close. So next, I did want to show you that it actually does, because this is one of my favorite parts about this planner. It fits in the Galen leather zippered Hobonichi Weeks, the regular size case. So let me get the case here. It's right here. And this was the whole thing, was like, if it doesn't fit in here, I'm giving it away before I even, you know, write in it. But it looks like it will be my planner. Sometimes I use, you know, put it in the flap. Sometimes I put it all the way back here. But I usually like to just stick it here. And it fits and it closes. And I've got my Sailor 1911 fountain pen there. It's got a fine nib. And I'm afraid I've neglected this pen, so it's kind of drying out. I did do a little test with it, but so it's fine. It accommodates that, zips up. And I'm so happy about that, because that's what I wanted. I wanted the planner to be in here. And I love this cover so much that I'll do funny things to stay in it, I guess. But anyway, I wanted to show you, because I probably am not the only one that wondered, is this new Leuchtturm weekly planner going to fit in the Galen cover? I mean, once you get one of those, you want to be able to use it, because they're, you know, they're really nice. And it was, to me, it was expensive, the Galen cover. So, okay, back to our page here. Otherwise, I won't stay on track. So I'll type these in the description box, but it measures 7.5 tall inches by 3 11/16. I was getting kind of nitpicky there with the measurement, and it's about 1/2 inch thick. So it is just a little over 19 centimeters tall and just a little over 9 centimeters wide, and then approximately 1 centimeter thick. So let's see. Before we get into likes and don't likes, likes and don't like, I think what I'll do is show you a couple of the other things that I've sort of toyed around with, not gotten very far. So, or one item that I didn't get very far with, and one that I love and use all the time. So I always carry one of these, no matter how many other notebooks I have. And this is just the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store or wherever, little planners, the 2-year planners. And this is a blank. I haven't written in it at all yet. But I just like these for all the doctor's appointments that I have to keep track of, from 3 of us down here, plus the pets. The cats have appointments too. And then another well, that is included in the 3 of us here, loved one here, and Manuel and I, and the cats, and my mom, her appointments. So I keep those in here, because it's so thin, it'll go in my tiny, tiny little rickshaw that I carry, little sling bag thing. Well, it's not really a sling, but it's a crossbody. But anyway, so this I use anyway, so I don't know why I'm complaining about the Leuchtturm not having the the monthly, because I use them in here anyway. For some reason, I guess I just want to see monthly everywhere, sort of, whereas I don't need to see weekly in my bullet journal at all. Okay, and then this was another one. I don't remember what this was called. Has the little fox, so too bad it got separated from its paper. Oh, here it is, Clever Fox Weekly Planner, Pocket Edition. I like this, but this was just too fat for the the Galen, if I remember right, or I didn't like how it fit in there. It wasn't, see, it's short. It's at least 3/4 of an inch shorter. So I must not have liked how it, I mean, that's okay, I guess, but I didn't like how it really would strain this. Yeah, it's just that much fatter, which probably means they gave more paper. This was inexpensive. I don't remember how much it cost, and I haven't used it. All I did was a page test. I started a page test. The paper's fantastic. I remember thinking that, like it wasn't, most everything wouldn't bleed through. Let me see. Oh, I wish I would have kept that 100% recycled paper. But anyway, this is one I'm liking in my emergency stash, along with another one of the ones that I decorated real pretty. So I'm a little bit of a mix-up. I'm a little bit of a difficult person when it comes to planners, but all I decided on was it had to fit in there and it needed to be pre-printed, so I didn't go crazy trying to do all that myself. So let's switch the view to talk about, excuse me, what I like and don't like. Because I'm tired of talking to my desk. I want to talk to you. So here we go. Okay, now for my favorite part. I really do like balancing what I like versus what I don't like about a notebook, a planner, a pen. Because, I mean, let's face it, there's always going to be something that, that we wish they had done a little bit differently maybe. But some reasons that make it really good. So let's talk about that. On the pro side, the things that I really like, I like the size. I like this pocket size very, very much. That was one thing about Hobonichi that kind of kept me coming back for 3 or 4 years, because I really like it. But the price is high, and I don't like the smearing of, anyway, it's I think I'd have to change a little bit more or a lot more in order to stay with Hobonichi, but, and you know, who knows, maybe I'll go back, but it's cheaper, even though I kind of balk at $25. I don't like that price. I really don't. I'd rather pay less than 10 for something like this, even though it does have a nice hardcover and the paper's pretty good. Okay, so I like the size. I like that it's cheaper than the Hobonichi Weeks, and I like that this paper, this is number 3 in the like column, this paper to me is not smeary paper. It's not paper that the ink sits on top of and can easily smear. Now you can get smearing with just about anything depending on what you're writing with, but I don't experience that as much with that regular Leuchtturm paper. So I do like that because, you know, jotting appointments in or writing things quickly into a planner, you're more likely to not slow down, to either put your little blotter page in or to just, you know, let it stay open longer if you're somewhere else. So it has happened to me, and I just don't like smearing. So I love the hardcover. I think I mentioned that already 100 times, but and then I like the features that come on this. Like, you know, the band is really nice, and that back pocket is super. The rest of what they did, I don't care about the little bookmarks, and I definitely don't care about all that stuff in the front. So I will have to get creative and write over it, or, I mean, you know, do some stuff over that. I mean, I'm still thinking about that, because all this, even that, all that international holiday, I can't read that. Even if I put it right up to the camera, you can see it's real light, and that's just way too much for me. It's possible that someone could, you know, educate me as to what on earth I would do with this part here. 2 years worth of vertical, you know, all the days of each month. Like, for instance, this is May, and then June, July, August. I don't know what I would do with that. I used to be obsessive about getting weighed. Maybe that would do it or something, but now I don't think I would. So I do like in the front where it has the, you know, it has the rest of 2025 and the calendar, and then 2026. I have to go taping that in if a notebook doesn't have it, because that drives me to distraction if I can't look way ahead and see what day of the week does my birthday fall on, or Manuel's or someone else's, you know. So anyway, all right, so there's a lot to like about this. So let's hop over to the stuff that I didn't like. I've already mentioned most of them, but we can kind of, you know, sum it up here, I guess. I don't like that there are no monthly pages for each month. I'd like to, if they did 12 spreads with the monthly, that would make it really worth it to me. Like, I might not balk so bad about $25. The second thing I jotted down was I still think it's overpriced, and yet, you know, someone once told me that, I can't remember who that was. It was somebody real big in fountain pens said that when they make like the fountain pen cases, maybe it was just Brian Goulet on one of his videos saying that it cost almost as much to make a little 4-pen case as a 20-pen case. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's the case with this, where this is like less than half the size of the regular notebook, and the regular notebooks, they have gone up. I'm not exactly sure how much they're charging anymore for those, or, you know, maybe, but used to you could find them for $20, but I think now 25, 27, even pushing 30 on, depending on the paper. So I'm thinking that maybe, even though this is smaller, it's costing them just as much for the binding, the printing. You know, that kind of makes sense to me, even though I don't know anything about production, really. Even though I'm calling it overpriced, it's my budget that dictates that more than reality. I'm not saying that it's not worth the money. Okay, so then the next, my point number 3 under not my favorite thing is that it's not perfect for fountain pens, but I'm not sure what is. Even some of the really pricey Clairefontaine and Rhodia paper won't get along with every fountain pen that you have, with every ink, with every nib, you know, and that kind of thing. So we know that. We know we have to do pen tests, I think. Oh yeah, ooh, I was kind of mean here. I said I don't like the wasted weird stuff in the front. To some people, that'll be like a joy. That may even be a highlight and a reason they wanted to buy it. So I wanted to mention and show you, but I don't like it. And then very few extra pages. So there's a balance there. And now I don't remember how many I said there were. What, 5 or 6 spreads? So maybe 12. Ooh, don't quote me. Not very many. And so, whereas I would never need a Hobonichi Mega Weeks that's thicker with a whole bunch of extra, I don't need that. But even the regular Hobonichis have quite a bit. Let's see. Where is that? Okay. Now, not that I'm going to be able to count them on camera, don't worry. But I can show you the thickness of how much they devoted, and they devoted quite a bit. See all that? I wonder if you can see it. That's quite a bit, and that's Tomoe River paper, very thin. So they could do that, and so that's another thing. If Leuchtturm had made that super fat, it wouldn't fit in my Galen cover, and I'd be I'd be giving it away. So, but yeah, that's a lot of pages. So that you can scribble stuff down, and gosh, the pages are numbered in there and everything, and it's cool in the back where the note section is. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't believe they needed to do that in here because there aren't that many pages. Yeah, no, there's no. I mean, you know, it's numbered as like week 51, week 46, yeah. So down at the very bottom, they did number the weeks, and that may matter to you way down here. So anyway, very few extra pages, but then that's a trade-off because I've got the real estate for it to fit in that cover, which seems to be a real big deal to me. So at the bottom, I always write down who I think might like the item that I'm reviewing. And I do think if you are familiar with and you like the original Leuchtturm A5 notebooks, for instance, if you like that paper, and you want a pre-printed planner, you might really like this. Like it might be the most exciting thing that you run into this year in the stationery world. I don't know. Let's see. I had notes to myself. Let's see if I did everything. Show the comparisons as far as the Amazon one, the Hobonichi, and the other one. Yeah, I think we did that somewhat. I'll try to point to where I believe I reviewed that. This one, the one that I decorated to the hilt, but I have a blank one here. I think I reviewed that. If I did, I'll find it. And I showed you the pen test. We compared the size a little bit, and I showed you how it fit in the Galen folder. Oh yes, I wrote down companion monthly, and we did talk about that a little, but I just wanted to show you, those that have been around a long time probably already seen this, but I keep all these. I've been keeping them since, I think, 2004. Maybe before that, but I'm not sure. So in the back, when I was a little girl, we always got the little Hallmark ones that were free. They were at the little pharmacy that I went to in Derby Line, Vermont. And we got those free. And I have seen them even here. This was 2015. I don't even know where I got that one. I know where I was, though. Well, I was here in Texas and I was in Vermont. So that was a sad year. But so I've got a couple that were like that. That were the little Hallmark ones. I don't really like them as much now that I'm used to these really cool ones with the cats on the front and so on from Dollar Tree, because I kind of like that this provides you a place to stick papers, you know, and it's cheap. They used to be really cheap, but you know, $1.25, whatever they're asking now, probably $1.50. But I love these, and believe it or not, it's worth it to me to keep all these, because I can even look up things like surgeries or like weird stuff that all of a sudden I'll remember more or less the year, but I'll say to myself, what was I doing? What was I doing back then? You know, really, like, let me see. And they're really interesting. This was a really bad year for me, 2004, because I got really sick and I ended up, you know, having to have a surgery. So, I mean, you know, this is what almost every month looked like. But that's interesting to me as a scientist of my own life, looking back and going, wow. Let's see if there's another one. Well, they're all like, you know, I mean, I was working cleaning houses back then. So I had that on there, and I had all medical stuff. I had, well, it doesn't matter. These are old names of doctors. They're not even my doctors anymore. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this was a 2-year planner. I know there was one month that was just like insane. Yeah, that's when I ended up having my surgery. And the same month my son graduated from high school. Oh, what a lollapalooza. And the month before that too. Anyway, I know someday I'll throw these, and if I croak first, somebody else will be the first thing they throw away, because who cares? But I do care. I look back and I see, if I ever wonder what I used to do, it's all there. So I don't give up on keeping these. I think it's kind of a neat idea, and I wish that I entered more entries in them like I used to. But back then I didn't. I just did a regular journal, and that I didn't do a bullet journal. You know, I didn't do any real planning, just the little monthly squares and stuff. So anyway, I thought it would be fun, because this one really made me think about, well, first off, after I ordered it, I thought, why did I do that? You know, why did I get that? I have that blank one. I could have just spent a couple of weekends filling it in. But now I'm kind of glad I can take that off now. Gee whiz. Kind of like the sticker too, the little cat on the front. Kind of looks like Coco with his little mask and everything. So anyway, I thought I'd come on and do this review because I saw a couple reviews. I watched one. The only thing I really could figure out from that was that it didn't have the monthly spreads in the front. But I thought maybe from a fountain pen angle it might be nice to talk about it. And whether or not you're into fountain pens, I checked out pens from both, you know, actually Leuchtturm does really well with pencil too. I'm thinking of people that like pencils, because it looks really nice on here, and it's too bad I didn't do a sample of that. But my mechanical pencils and my black wings and stuff like that, they look really nice on this. And I don't always do that, except for when I think an appointment may change. But I like a paper that cooperates well with a pencil, and this does. So, okay, I think that's it. I've gone on long enough. But what do you think? Had you encountered these yet? I don't remember It's probably most likely Instagram. Instagram is the bane of my existence as far as seeing things that I gotta have. But I'm not regretful now. I know that it'll fit right into that cover, and I'm gonna stick with it. And I won't be as worried about it because I'm not gonna smear the ink as easily in this. I may have a few bleed through ink episodes, but other than that, I think we'll be good. So let me know in the comments if you do you use Leuchtturm for anything else? I know they have bigger planners too, but I have no interest in an A5 planner because I use my bullet journal, and anything that I do need for monthly, I just create it, and I don't really go to much trouble. Sometimes I use the number stickers that come in the back of the official bullet journal. So it comes with a strip of numbers 1 to 31, and you can just use that rather than have to write it in. But when I don't have trigger finger, I can just write it in real easily with a felt tip. So I do enjoy planning, and I know a lot of you here do too. So I wanted to, do this review. All right, I'll let you go for now, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.